Hi, I'm Dan Brinton, product manager here at Domo. PDP column masking, or just column PDP, is a powerful feature that allows you to control access to sensitive data at the column level. In this demo, we'll explore how it makes your data both more secure and also more usable. And by the time we wrap up here, you'll see how PDP column masking improves data security without sacrificing flexibility. So imagine you own a data set and you're starting to think that it would be really valuable if you could share that data set beyond just your own team. Problem is it contains a couple of columns of sensitive data. It really means you shouldn't share that data outside your team. In the past, if you had wanted to share that data set, you actually would have created a nearly duplicate data set, identical in every way, except that other data set would not include the sensitive columns. Problem is that's time consuming and it's inefficient and it's really pretty error prone. That is the use case that we're directly addressing with PDP column masking. Here I've got a data set of sales transactions. It's got some of the columns you might expect, transaction ID and timestamp and SKU and quantity and purchase amount, but it's also got some customer information like customer name and customer email, and that's PII. I really shouldn't give access to this data unless there's an actual business need. But with column PDP, I can share the data set while still controlling access to those PII columns. Let me show you what I mean. From the data set here, I go to the PDP tab and click Column Policies. First, I'll create a new policy. Let's call this Redact PII, and I'll select Text as the data type. With each policy, there are two rules that are created automatically, and you can't remove them. The first one is the default unmasked rule that applies to all admins and dataset owners. It's not configurable, and it's really reminding me that admins and dataset owners always have unmasked access to the data. And the second there is the default rule, and it applies to everyone with dataset access. So everyone that has access to that dataset is going to receive that rule. And because it applies to everyone with dataset access, that default rule should have the most restrictive masking method that's necessary or justified or appropriate for your data based on its sensitivity. In our case, where we're trying to redact PII, I'm going to set the masking method for that default rule to be redact, and I'll save the policy. Now I need to apply my new policy to specific columns. So I'll click Add Column, and I'll choose the customer name column, and click Add Policy, and then select that Redact PII policy that I just created, and then finally I'll save that mapping. I need to do the same thing with customer email, so I'll select the column and select the Redact PII policy, and you'll see here that column policies can be applied across multiple columns in a data set, though each column can only have one single policy applied to it. Now that the policy is applied to both columns, I'll enable column PDP on the dataset. Let's take a look at what an end user is going to see when they look at this dataset. In this other browser window, I'm logged in as Felix, who's a member of our sales ops group. He has access to the dataset, but he isn't the owner or an admin type user. So when I refresh the page, you'll see that the values in the name and email columns have been redacted. You can see how column PDP makes managing access to data so much easier, and it's also really flexible. So let me show you what I mean by that. I mentioned before that Felix is in the sales ops group. Let's say Felix comes to me and says, hey, sales ops really needs access to the partially redacted data, maybe so that they can help address questions from salespeople. We can do that with column PDP. So let's go back to the Redact PII policy, and I'll open it in edit mode. I'll create a new rule and assign it to the sales ops group, and then we can choose show first n characters as the masking method, and maybe specify that I want to show the first 3 characters and redact the rest, and then we'll save that policy. So now when we go back to see what Felix sees, when I refresh the page, Felix sees the first 3 characters and then the rest have been redacted, just like we specified in that rule we created. We have this flexibility because of the way masking rules are applied. So let me show you what I mean back in the policy editor. Because a single user can be assigned to multiple rules, and because only one rule can be enforced for a user, we assign precedence based on the order of the rules. For any given user, only the first rule assigned to that user is enforced, and I can show you what I mean. So let's say Felix comes back to me and tells me, hey, sales ops has just what they need, but he himself needs to see the complete unredacted data for his specific justified business need. I can give Felix the access he needs by creating another new rule and assigning it to him and choosing the unmasked option. So now when I save that change, Felix is going to have unmasked access, but everybody else in the sales ops group is still going to have that partially redacted access. So when we look at the data from Felix's perspective, we see that Felix now has unmasked access to the data. PDP column masking eliminates the need for complex workarounds like managing separate data sets for different users, and it ensures tidy and secure and scalable distribution. Plus, by providing tailored access, you maximize the value of your data throughout your organization. So it's a win for efficiency and for usability and for security. PDP column masking has admittedly been a long time coming. And so I'm really excited to let you know that starting today, PDP column masking is available in your Domo instance. So jump in, check it out, consult the Domo knowledge base for more information, and let us know what you think. We here at Domo are really excited to see what additional value you can extract from your data using PDP column masking. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next Domo Drop.